Let's delve deeper into the commodity complex as we do this time every week. Pete Maguire, Chief Market Economist and Strategist at NG Farah, joining us. Pete, warm welcome to you. Interesting that the World Bank has been out this morning. It hasn't poured too much cold water on global growth, but it's a reminder that if you look at price action for key commodities like rebar, you kind of are in danger of getting too ahead of yourself. And therefore implications for what you are holding on to could be quite stark. What do you make of that backdrop?
Well, good morning, Carsten. Good morning, Brooke. Look, I think there are some commodities that will do quite well in 13, and I roll that across to the grains. Possibly we've seen a wonderful uptick in recent months as far as platinum, but a number of those base metals will probably hold in this, a trading range. And as you mentioned, the rebar price coming out of China. So, they're all factors that need to be weighed up. And I really don't think it's going to be a 2004, 2005 year. It's probably going to be just more or less a gradual uptick.
It's kind of been the interesting thing about the iron ore price, hasn't it? Because while you saw, it was quite a good start for a lot of commodities at the start of the year, but then they just sunk back into that trading range we've been so used to, and yet iron ore is the one that's been out ahead of the rest, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I mean, iron ore, Brooke, it's all lead up, of course, naturally to the Lunar New Year as far as the restocking of inventories. I think there'll be a gradual slowdown towards the end of the month with, Chinese New Year, and really that part of the world has a very big break for the best part of a couple of weeks. So, and also, of course, shipping and containers and moving that across from Brazil and Australia as far as weather conditions and cyclones and so on. So, I think that it probably will stay at these sort of levels. Again, what's very interesting, gold prices still, for the first time we've seen in a year, platinum has outstripped gold, running at around about best part of 1685, 1690. And we've seen Anglo American shut one of its mines, or sell one of its mines, wanting to, and shut down 4 of them. So it's going to have a supply-demand deficit there of about 700,000 ounces, and I think that'll underpin price to the upside.
What is your positioning on copper at the moment? Are you looking at that one as, and the current price is way above the 90% cost of production. China consumes 40% of annual output. Hearing from Rio yesterday with, Oyu Tolgoi in Mongolia. What's your positioning on that lead commodity?
I think there's got to be further upside for the, as far as production costs. I'm not suggesting you're going to see 10,500 a metric tonne, but I wouldn't be surprised, holding around these 8 to 8,500, possibly even 9,000 in 13. So, it just comes down to the sheer numbers as far as what it costs to extract it from the Earth's crust. And, everyone is entitled to make a profit, Brooke.
The softs, you talk about the Earth's crust, Mother Nature, what's it been doing in Kansas? Because it looks as if it's been it's poised to wreak some havoc.
Well, yeah, it's, incredibly cold this time of year. We haven't got a blanket of snow over that winter crop, so it's not being protected. There were talks of temperatures down to about minus 23 Celsius. So
it's been snowing in Israel.
Yes. Yeah, well, unfortunately not Illinois or Kansas, but certainly in Israel's going all right.
The Dome of the Rock is all nicely,
Yes, and I saw some in Beirut as well, or out of Beirut, one of the cities there. So, yeah, that it just shows us, and that's also having a major impact as far as the winter crop in the United States, and also we've got soil depletion, moisture depletion in South America, Paraguay, Argentina and Brazil. So that's going to affect corn production.
There was a deliberate kind of, I was trying to lead you down a path of saying,
I'm sure you would.
Does that cool relations with Iran? Almost by extension. Because that was a big story for us last year, was it not? We were almost ratcheting, not we were, but there was a palpable sense of ratcheting up of a showdown between Iran and Israel. They've got the elections. What's happening?
Well, from a geopolitical standpoint, I think you're probably going to see not a great deal over the next month and a half to 2 months. But I wouldn't be surprised, heading into that summer season, that things will certainly be on front and centre stage. Really, it seems to have abated. People are still very much concerned as far as the whole Syria situation and this, the ongoing turmoil there. But unfortunately, for I think everyone's sake, no one's prepared to move in on Israel or on Iran at the moment, but I think that'll change in the foreseeable future.
In the very short term, though, and even just looking at the session overnight, it seems like the oil price might even be keying off economic fundamentals, like the demand picture. We've just seen the World Bank downgrade forecast for the globe this year.
You know, Saudi
What do you
Arabia, Brooke, has cut its production numbers down to around about 9 million barrels a day for November and December, back from 10 million. I think it was running at about 10.2 million there for September and October. And remembering that going back, say, 10 years ago, we were running at about 76 million barrels a day. That's global consumption. Now we're running at 90 million. So it's seen a very, very strong move to the upside as far as consumption numbers. And that ever looming 100 million barrels a day is certainly there by 2021, 2022. But the real issue is that those 5 of the 6 economies are emerging economies as far as global consumption. USA is still number 1, but followed, of course, by China, India, Russia, Saudi Arabia and Brazil.
Just on that note, in terms of for budgets, economically, have you got a sense as to how Russia negotiates with alternate fuels now in the mix, a less reliance from Europe on things like gas, or is that one still not going away anytime soon? Pipelines and...
Yeah, pipelines. I mean, it's an ongoing... We had a very cold snap over that December period, but it seems to have warmed up a little bit over there, and of course northern parts of Northeast America. But ongoing, there is always going to be that issue there as far as Russia's production and of course the consumption for natural gas.
Mark Mobius has been really bullish on emerging markets for 2013, but headlining in the FT, Brazilian shares beaten back by a slowing economy. Are you cautioned by some pockets of resistance to that bull story he's
Well, Mobius is pretty
telling?
well read, and I think he travels the globe continuously, so he should get a very good feeling and what it's like on the ground. Difficult to say. I think 13, 14, you listen to other guys, as far as like Rogers and that, and they're saying they're going to be tough years. So I don't think they're going to be, knocking the ball out of the park, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a continual uptick as far as equity prices. And those emerging markets, I'd like to see something a little bit better numbers coming out of India and China, Carson.
All right, watching that. The investment story got to continue at pace there.
Yes.
Particularly for China. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carson.
Soon.
Thank you, Brooke.
Up to 300 jobs are at risk across Australia.